Mr. Handsome.
Right.
All right, so we are live. I think there's maybe a 5 or 6 second delay, but it's may as well be live. And I'm watching this thing here. I can actually see, if anyone joins and is watching.
Cool.
I'll be able to see that.
Sounds good. I'm going to turn off my camera for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So let's wait and see. I know Frank said that he was going to be a little bit delayed in joining. So hopefully he joins in a little bit. Yeah. And I'm wondering if anyone else is going to be joining. I was still hoping maybe Brad or Frank. Robert. Maybe he would join. And I did send emails out to all the people that were on the calendar invite, because we had a few people from back before we changed this policy that had invites. So we have some legislators, some Senate people, and then just some other followers that said that they were interested. So maybe we'll get lucky and some of them will join. Otherwise, we can just chat it up with the people that are here. Currently, there's no one watching. So I guess we can just talk about, whatever's going on with us.
Yeah. Do you want to continue that conversation about the Wix? Or?
Yeah, so,
yeah.
From what I looked up, I was looking at Squarespace, I was looking at Wix. Alec, you might have some knowledge about this with, website hosting providers.
Yeah. Wait, so I do have some questions about that. So just to back up. So do you know how we were, I've used WordPress before, and I would have expected that we were, too small of a target. But do you know how we ended up getting hacked that one time?
I don't know what the vector of attack was, but I do recall seeing prior to that, it shows, link refers where the sources of our traffic are coming from. And I saw some unique traffic coming from Serbia and Bosnia, areas that I wouldn't expect.
Sure.
So one thing, I don't know if there's a way to do it. I'm sure there is. I would like to set, at least on our current system, some kind of geographical restriction on an IP, some kind of geographical IP address restriction to only allow traffic from the US, because that's our market.
Yeah, WordPress might have that functionality. You can look into it.
Okay. Oh, there's Mr. Frank.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
There you are.
Okay. It's been an interesting time. I just literally ended one call and scooted on here. Okay. So what have I missed so far?
Alex says he's going to check into
See if there's geographic limitations for WordPress.
on the WordPress.
Now, Alec, I don't know if I gave you access to the new hosting provider. Robert set up a cPanel thing, so we actually have our own host now. We're not on the free WordPress. He gave us a full WordPress instance that we moved our website to.
Right. Okay.
So I can give you access to that for admin rights if you want to poke around, because
we can.
Right now,
I'll let them know that CPS is on the way.
Frank, you want to mute that?
I need to step out.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, because at the moment, the website is up and it's working for the time being. The only issue that I'm having with it right now is I cannot make new posts. When I go to write a new post, I get a 403 forbidden error.
Oh.
Yeah, and it says fairinternetcoalition.org/wpadmin/postnew.php. Please forward this error screen to your webmaster.
Which is you.
Which is me, I'm sure.
Wow.
Just one quick thing about that in specific. I had an incident the other day. I was trying to post something. I forget whether it was on LinkedIn but I tried to connect a link to our webpage, and on the connection itself, it puts up our little banner and everything, like it's pointing people in the right direction. In this case, it put up something about a bath sale.
A what?
A bath sale, a white sale from some
know what you
company
mean
I
by
never
that.
heard of.
What exactly were you doing when you saw that?
I saw an article that like I always do. I mean, I saw an article on one of the news sources that I read, and I went to go put it on to LinkedIn and or Facebook and or whatever, and it always puts up that little blurb, and I'm used to it saying, Fair Internet Coalition having our little logo thing there.
Well, if it's
This
if it's an article from another website, it wouldn't have any of our information on it. Were you posting an article from some news site, or were you posting something from our website?
An article from a website with my comments. So I was
was it on our fairinternetcoalition.org website that what you were sharing?
no.
Okay, so then it has nothing to do with us. Whatever it was is not connected to us in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was not caused by something going on
No.
with our web.
That's
Okay.
whatever you were copying and pasting from whatever news source. It's must have maybe been like an ad or something on that website.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought it was bizarre. That's why I wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, on the website, while going to Wix may be a good long-term goal, I really I feel not super jazzed about moving everything over after we just got this website set up the way I like it. The way
Yeah.
and Robert is
agree.
paying for, and we are getting the free hosting from Robert on his web platform. So if we can have some way of getting this working perfectly, I mean, it's WordPress should still work, and then maybe securing it better so we don't have to worry about this in the future. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I looked up we would need to use a security plugin, although I think there's some free options that can do the geographic limiting. So as long as I think I might need the super admin privilege.
Right. So I'm going to log in.
Admin privilege.
I could give you the admin account that I use, but I'm going to see if I can create a new admin account for you.
Well, I think you can just change my permissions and.
Because there's two different
when I
things.
want
There's
that
WordPress itself, like the settings of the WordPress instance itself, and then there's the actual hosted website settings.
I don't think I need the hosted website.
Because
I think just with my existing WordPress account.
Just as an FYI, I'm looking at it right now, and it does say there's an IP blocker section on here.
Oh, well then maybe that's a way to do it without.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of settings in here that I have not messed with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you can look at it. If you see that it's not what you need, then I'll give you the other thing. Visitors, site publisher, zone editor, PHP my admin. Default addresses, autoresponders, password and security, user manager. That's probably it. So yeah, and that's another thing. I posted a screenshot of it in the Slack. There were user accounts that I don't remember creating that had weird names that it had access to our website. So whoever got access to it was creating admin accounts on there. All right, so Alec Foster. Alec Foster. Let me do a camel case here. Alec. Domain, Fair Internet Coalition, contact email address, and set the users. This user will set the account password. That's fine. Web disk. You don't need I guess you don't need a home directory. FTP if you want. I guess I can turn that on for you, so you can if it's easier to FTP into the site. And you don't need email in there. Create. Okay. So I just sent you an invite. Check your FIC email to see if you got something
Okay.
from the website. As a reminder, we are live streaming this to YouTube. We have no one watching right now, but if someone does join, I will let you guys know, and I will. I'm monitoring the chat box over here.
And they can watch it later.
Yes, yeah, and
Okay.
that's another benefit is this recording will be posted live.
Yeah.
So if we have any other topics of conversation we want to go over, this is
We
good.
do.
All right.
So while Alec is checking his email or whatever, a few things to note. First of all, and if any of this was discussed before I arrived, just let me know. We do have the upcoming events this weekend. We have one is the e-cycle event. Jacob, do you know? Did we hear from Laval or any of them regarding that particular event or no?
I haven't heard
haven't had a
anything.
chance.
I haven't heard anything. I
Okay.
did send just a short while ago. I sent an email to reminder to Laval and Heinlein about all the stuff we discussed in our last meeting. We spoke with them the Friday before last, and
I'm gonna follow up on that tomorrow. So we'll keep if we keep pestering them, maybe we'll get a response.
yeah. So I did send them an email on about 6 days ago on the Tuesday after that meeting, as saying, here's all the things we talked about. Looking forward to following up on this. And then today I sent another reminder on that email chain.
Gotcha. Okay, so we also have the same day the Take Back 25 thing with Dominic Thorne, the Suffolk County legislator. So both of those are in the pipeline right now.
Wait,
But
so
I
wait,
had a
so
conversation-
there's 2 recycling events?
No. One's a recycling event. The other is the program called Take Back 25.
Are they on the same day?
They're on the same day. That's on April 2nd. I don't remember what the timing is. When this whole thing started, remember you and I had a conversation about potentially having one of us go to one and the other go to the other one.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I can. I definitely don't know if I can do both because I had things I wanted to do on Saturday. Beyond that,
Well, it's not like we're going to spend the whole day at either one of them.
Right. So I see April 2nd. This is Dominic Thorne and Mike Lagurcio are going to be there. That's at the Quorum Home Depot parking lot. And
Right. That's Take Back 25.
yeah, that's at 9:30 a.m.
Right, and then the Mill Country Public Library is also 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
A Brookhaven recycling event. Special recycling events, Brookhaven. Yeah, 9:30. So they're both at the same time.
Right, that's why I was figuring on divide and conquer approach.
Right.
And then
I mean, it would be good for us maybe because having both of us there kind of shows like maybe a stronger presence, in my opinion.
so maybe we do it this way. If we ride together going to the same place, we can spend a half an hour or whatever at one, and then spend a half an hour at the other.
Right.
And then
Now the other ring.
they're about 3 miles from each other.
Yeah, they're not far. Now, one little wrinkle is I have a haircut scheduled for that morning. So
I saw your message.
and
No worries.
that's in Sayville. So as soon as I'm done with my haircut there, I will go to. I guess you can go to the first one, and then maybe I will catch up with you at the second one.
Right. Well, as it turns out, I actually have stuff to e-cycle, so I can do that while I'm waiting for you to show up, and then we can move on from there.
Right.
So I
So
don't
so
have
which
to
one
keep
would we
it.
go to first? Because one of them it says 9:30 to 1:30. The other
You
one.
tell me which one is closer to where you're going to be. You said you're going to be in.
Well, I'm
Sayville.
gonna be like out of the way. I'm gonna be down in Sayville.
Right. So which one would you get to faster?
I guess Middle Country technically would be closer. I mean, Quorum is obviously further east, but they're so close to each other. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. So that's number one. Number two, I had a conversation earlier today with one of the librarians at the local library. Turns out that they since the conversations that I had with some of the local people here, they've been getting requests for education on cutting the cord, and they're going to do it. The lady that I spoke to, I had the thing in my
Wait, they're doing cord cutting classes, or they're asking us to do it?
No, they are doing the cord cutting classes, so they can
Okay.
take it off of our hands, and it'll be one less thing for us to do. We can promote it.
Yeah, well, I mean, depends on what kind of information they're sharing. If they're not, because I would hope that they're informed about all the latest apps and the technology, and that it's like I wouldn't want to see the content. It doesn't mean we can't also do ours. It just means that that's the one
No,
they're doing.
not at all. I'm just pointing out
Yeah.
that we have that option, and maybe what I can do is when I find that piece of paper, I can sit in on one of those sessions and see what it is they're doing, and if it looks good,
Yeah.
then so be it.
Yeah, then I can share it with people. We could even offer, if we do end up doing those classes once a month, we could tell the library and say, if you want to post this on your website, just direct them to us, and then we will host this on Zoom for everyone else.
Well, I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, but I guess that could work out pretty well. All right, so I'll recontact what's her name over at the library and move it forward from there.
Yeah.
Kit, up by you might have that same opportunity. I don't know what you guys have for library systems up there, but if you have a decent public library system, you can even point them in the direction of our library down here to look at how they do it, and maybe your library can duplicate that for people that want to go through a program.
Now, what are you talking about? The recycling events that you were going to?
No.
No, I'm sorry.
See, I left the room. I had to talk to Mark.
No, this is for cord cutting.
Remember we talked about doing a cord cutting class, like for streaming and internet service providers, things along those lines. So I guess the part that you didn't hear is that I spoke to the librarian down here this morning, and she pointed out that they're getting set to do a first of its kind lecture here, and she gave me the information. In fact, I thought I had it in my pocket, but I don't. But I'm thinking if they can do it here, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to do it up there too.
Of course, yeah, we could do that. I never thought of that. Of course.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And then, like I was saying, I haven't had a chance to really put anything together. I was hoping we could get a hold of Kareem Nugdala, because I remember he did a really good video on YouTube. If he would, but I haven't been able to really reach him. See if he wants to work with us.
My guess is we're going to see him on Saturday.
That would be great. He's on.
He has a tendency to show up at Dom Thorne's.
That's a good point. We should mention that.
So, are you thinking of a live lecture at the library or a video?
Video.
Shown? That'd be great.
Yeah. So same thing with these meetings, like we're doing right now. There would be a live stream. Well, I guess people wouldn't need to. No, I guess both would actually be helpful, because if people have questions, they may want to talk to us. So we would have it like this kind of format here. I would share my screen and probably have a PowerPoint going over some basic points about, here's all the steps you can go through, how to call Optimum, cancel, here's the streaming apps that you can do. And then we would have, like we're doing right now, people could write in questions on YouTube if they're watching on YouTube. And then if they're a Patreon supporter, they can actually talk to us and ask us questions live.
Now, you want to come up here?
Do I want to come up there?
Yeah. Or are you going to train me to do it?
Well, these would be over Zoom.
Right. Oh, so we'll have a big screen at the library.
No. I'm not even saying at the library. I'm saying libraries often host or share remote meetings. Like they'll have on their catalog, this is a scheduled online meeting that you can join. It's a Zoom only event.
I see.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be at the library, but it can be sponsored by the library.
By the library.
and it would be like on their catalog. Fair Internet Coalition is holding a cord cutting class,
Great, great.
so that's something we can look into.
That almost sounds crafty too.
Yeah.
Right.
Cord
Yeah,
cutting class.
Yeah, the most time consuming part is honestly making the material, you know, coming up with like a very simple, straightforward way, because you know that on the by and large, a lot of the people that are going to be in these are going to be on the older side
Yeah.
and maybe aren't experienced with it, you know,
Yep.
people
So I'm
my
in the
age.
test market.
Right, so we want to make sure that it's easily understandable and easy to,
teases me.
yeah,
Yes.
and appeases Kit. So we'll have to come up with something. Maybe Kit, you and I can work on that.
I'd
come
love
up,
that.
come up with
That'd be
something.
great. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to the next thing, Alec, did you find whatever it is you were looking for from Jacob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
All right.
All right,
Were you able to? Are you like poking around on the website? You were able to see the admin console there.
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. Yeah. Just let me know what you know whenever you have the chance to do that and what you're able to
Yeah,
find.
I'll try that after the meeting.
Okay. Frank, I don't know if did you want to chat briefly about how we're gonna approach these events. Are we gonna have? I assume we're gonna have. I'll bring a bunch of my business cards with me. I'll bring. I think I have some leftover flyers. I can bring. We
Right, so-
aren't gonna have those T-shirts in time. I don't think that'll have to be at the next one.
Yeah, did we ever hear back from Robert Boyle about that?
I haven't heard from him in a little while. I think he
So
said.
I think I have some of the old flyers, but I think the ones you have, didn't you print some when you went to your office?
Yeah, I think I actually have a new batch of them. Is that this in here? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. This is an older one. It says support fair internet service. So they would be able to. It says tscfis.org, but I believe I have that redirecting to our website. So even if they did go to this, it would probably still go to our website.
So what happens if you scan the QR code?
Let me try that out.
Place?
I'm gonna try that out right now. Let's see, Google Lens. Let's point that here. It says tscfis.org. I might have more in my car. I might have newer ones in my car. I'll have to check. Yep, it went to. Oh, interesting. I think I see the thing that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to. It did not go to our website. It started to, but then it redirected somewhere else.
Wow.
Look at that.
Let me. Can you zero? I can't see it.
What is it?
It's
That looks kind of like what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Wow.
100%. Yep.
Wow.
With the Japanese or Korean handwriting.
No, it's
Wow.
Japanese.
I wonder if that was a redirect that one of those malicious actors put in.
Yeah,
our
I'm
site.
gonna check on our website right now and see, because it's only on the TSCFIS redirect. It's not on anything else. If you just go to fairinternetcoalition.org, it will go to our website.
But I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing. But I'm going to check.
All right.
Doing that.
So I'm gonna check, because that's actually no, not email forwarders.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with this malware stuff.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. I don't think it would be on anything with Google domains, because. Aha, what's this here?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, so on our website, under our domains, there's fairinter.net, fairinternetcoalition.org, tscfis.org, and there's a fourth one. It says DKB Anmeld name Fair Internet. So that does not sound like us. So I'm going to delete that, because I don't know what that is. That does not sound like us at all.
Great.
Remove domain. It will permanently delete the domain from your account. This will not remove the root directory. That's fine. I can delete that later. Remove
At
this
the
domain.
risk of asking a stupid question,
Hmm?
is that kind of like a security issue I know that you guys were talking about that before, but is that the type of thing that could end up generating some kind of a virus to other people's computers?
It depends.
Probably not.
Well, it depends on where it's sending people, and it looks like it's sending people to a fairly innocuous website. It's just some Japanese vendor of printer toner. So, I wouldn't call it a virus. It's just a malicious
My guess is it's a search engine optimization thing where by inserting links from other sites, they can boost the ranking in search.
Yeah. So now if I go to tscfis.org again, will it still do that? No. See if I do it from, let me just as another test. I'm going to do a private browser window. tscfis.org.
I think you should also find out the exact URL that the QR code was sending you to, because sometimes there could be redirects created from like a specific link rather than just from the full domain. So like when you hover over
Meaning whatever
when
was
you're hovering over the QR code with your phone, you might be able to copy the link and then examine it.
right. Well, when I hold it up, let me do this again. It's still sending me there, so it must just be this link here. Can I copy that? No, it just sends me. I wish I could just copy that.
Yeah.
Maybe
There
I'll,
might be other apps where you can copy it.
yeah, where I can just pull out the
Yeah.
barcode.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna download an app. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I download this barcode scanner.
Okay, so while Jacob is doing that, I'll push on just in case anybody is viewing this later, to let everybody know that locally I did send a letter that was copied to the HOA here in my community, and ultimately also which I don't think I mentioned to anybody yet, but that was part of what I'm doing now. I send it to the HOAs of some of the other entities along the Route 25 corridor here, like from Route 97 on east until you get to Riverhead, on the theory that anything that they can do with one entity, they can do with more than one entity. And so I sent out an email, and I know I copied Jacob on it, and I copied Brad over at OCG, because he's the one that's actually going to have to go in and do the technical explanation of everything. Having said that, even as we speak, I know that there's some things that are starting to hatch, both on the local level and on the New York State level, because everywhere I go, when I leave the property here, everywhere I go, somebody's up there wiring something,
Right.
And at this point, it doesn't really matter whether I'm in Nassau County, Suffolk County, or even in some cases Westchester County. So there's got to be some kind of a renaissance approaching, in terms of all of this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it's just a matter at this point of Verizon is feeling pressure from all these other providers that are starting to show up, these smaller options, and they want to take over. They want to grab that they want to grab that market share.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what's happening in my community. I think I don't know if didn't mention it to everyone else, but I got a call from the office manager of my condo complex, and they said that they got an email from Verizon saying, we're coming to your community on April 1st to do a site survey. Make sure someone's available. I'm like, that's a little telling that after years and years of them saying we're not putting fiber in your area, people signing up. I'm sure people wanted Verizon in my area for for a decade, that they're only doing it in my community now after Brad said that he was going to do it. So I'm hoping, with this stuff with Laval that we're dealing with, that he approves that easement, because I'd be much happier giving my money to Brad than to Verizon. But if Verizon beats him to it, sorry, I'm not gonna stick with Optimum. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not to say that even if we all move to Verizon or something else, doesn't mean that we can't. That's called competition.
Well,
We have an option of 3 or 4 is better than an option of 1 or 2.
right? Doesn't that get into like overbuilding? Is that what they call that? Like it's not cost effective to build over existing fiber if someone already has those lines.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you that Verizon made that decision when I used to live in Malvern. They made the decision to overbuild well, at the time it was Cablevision, because this was before Altice bought Cablevision. But they did the building thing, and then what they did was they went into the junction boxes on everybody's house, and they created a coupling device so that every house had a Cablevision side box, and every box had a Verizon side box. And then they
Right.
got into this thing where every time Cablevision came out, they destroyed Verizon's stuff, and every time Verizon came out, they destroyed the Cablevision stuff. Because it happened to us a couple of times.
All right. So just really quick, Alec, I tested the link that was attached to this QR code. I almost wonder if the website that I got the QR code from was compromised. Like, it's not the URL itself, because if I go onto a web browser on my PC and I type in the exact URL that came off of the barcode scanner, it goes through. But if I do it from my phone, it goes to the weird website.
But I thought that when you hovered the barcode reader, the Lens app over the QR code, I thought you said that it was showing our not like a redirect, like a bit.ly.
Yeah, it is. So if I go, I'll actually show you here. So I'm gonna scan it, right? And now let me bring this up here so you can see what it says. Let me bring this into focus. So that's the website that it shows
Yeah.
from that QR code, which is
Normal for me.
correct.
Yeah.
So now if I tap that, see, that time it worked when I went directly to the website straight from the URL. But if I do it from Google Lens, let me try this again. And then it goes to this thing. That's really weird. I do not know why it's doing that.
That is so strange.
Yeah. I should look up. I mean, that's why I think it's like there's like something with the actual QR code that was compromised. Like whatever.
That seems odd to me because when you're using the first app, it was showing the correct thing.
Right. As with Google Lens, when I was hovering over it, it did say our website, but then it redirected somewhere else.
Oh.
So
Yeah. What?
I have no idea. That's really bizarre.
Could it be a glitch within Lens?
Well, I can check our settings to make sure we don't have a. I don't think there's an issue with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first place to look would be in the website to make sure there's no plugins that are meant to be redirecting people.
Right. I'm checking some of our DNS settings. I'm checking our traffic on our Google domains page too. See if there's anything unusual. It does say that there's some impressions from outside the U.S. Most popular
Yeah,
pages.
I'm gonna check the WordPress site because sometimes it can be. That's usually where I see redirects.
All right. Sitemap. Removals. Submit a request. URL inspection. Performance. Oh, interesting. This shows the top search queries on Google that gave us hits on our website. So we have 185 impressions from people searching on Google Optimum Internet, and then our website came up in the search results.
Cool.
So I don't even remember setting up SEO, but I guess it's working because people are finding us. See, that would be really helpful if I find out that people are finding our website
Yeah.
not through just us sharing it, but organic impressions, people just discovering it on their own.
Looking for it.
That would be really great if I could confirm that. Let's see. Not physical.
May I ask,
Mhm.
Frank, is the nonprofit filed?
No, in order to file, we have to be able to pay, and that's actually
Next
one of the
topic.
things that
Yeah.
yeah. Soon as we get done with this, we'll segue into that. But everything, the paperwork and everything is done. All I have to do at this point is click on a button, put a form of payment in, and we're done.
Okay.
At least for now. And then I do think though that we'll bifurcate the payments. I think if I remember correctly, it was $174 a month over 3 months or some number like that. Don't quote me, but it makes more sense to do that. It's almost like a zero interest loan. So
There's no fee to do that.
there's no fee, no interest to do it. And oddly enough, that same structure does not come up if you're doing an LLC or if you're doing something else. So my guess is that it probably has to do with the fact that we're forming a 501
Yeah.
rather than anything else.
Yeah.
But one of the things, Kit, that you should consider, because I'm going to need you to handle that part, is how we're going to arrange the payment part of all of this.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is that when we both have some time, we'll come online and we can figure out how to make the payment and just click the buttons and get it done.
Yeah.
What I'm not going to do, they do have like all these buttons for expedited service,
Yeah.
but we don't need that. I mean,
Right.
even if it takes 2 to 3 weeks to do it,
Right.
at least we know it's in process.
Right.
And from what I understand, the minute that we know it's in process, we can officially assume the title of a 501c3 that's pending with whatever entity. So the minute that we click that button, unless somebody says no for whatever reason, we are a de facto 501c3.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Which means that Jacob can go out and
Right.
whatever it is he needs to get.
Yeah, because the second, because I think what I need is to actually start the process is I need the tax ID. They won't let me do it without a tax ID.
Right.
So the second I have that,
think we got a letter before the actual came through. So we got a letter that it was in process or something, and we used that. It's years ago. It was like 2001.
because then I can go make a TechSoup account and I can
Right.
get us all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the way that it works. Once we file that, it's supposed to be, and again with COVID and everything, I don't know how realistic this is
Right.
anymore. But it's supposed to be within 7 business days. We get it. We get a T1 letter, which is it's a temp letter 1, which says, we've received your information. We're
Good.
following through on everything.
Yeah.
This is your tentative number. This is your
Right.
tentative this,
Right.
tentative that, and for all intents and purposes, as long as
Yeah.
we're not seeking to defraud anyone, we can
Right.
use it.
Right.
We've made the payments. The only reason why we wouldn't get it is if there's some kind of technical error or something.
Right.
Um,
Which there
so
won't be.
I-
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because we're gonna have the weight of LegalZoom and whoever their attorneys are over there behind us. So
Right.
if
Now-
there's a problem, they'll fix it.
I talked to my accountant, and he had referred me to Danielle. Her name is Danielle, and she's going to be filing LDAs, and she is she knows grant writing. So my accountant was saying we should talk to her about grants. She can help us.
let's set something up.
Yeah.
I'm all for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her personally. I know she's charging us $30 to do our LDA. So no big deal.
Well, it's not like we have a complicated set of tax
Right.
stuff.
Now, what
Right.
kind of time frame are we looking at for receiving the status once the application and the first payment is submitted?
Right.
It's 7 days from when the payment clears. 7 business days, that is.
Right.
Okay.
So let's say that Kit and I sit down tomorrow at some point and we do it. We click the button and we put it in. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
No, I know. I mean, but it's the 29th, my niece's birthday.
Whose
okay.
birthday?
My niece Brianna.
Aw.
Yeah, she's actually going to be 18,
Aw.
and I'm going to be old.
Remember those days, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And I'm turning 30 in 2 weeks, so
Oh.
20s are over, all done.
The baby of the group.
Yes.
Moving.
Right. So.
So yeah, once we put that stuff in, and we get that letter, the official address of the 501 is going to be the PO box. So when I have that, I will drive a copy of the letter over to Jacob, and you can and he can use that
Right.
piece of documentation to do
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, you don't even have to come here. You could probably just take a picture, like scan it with your phone and send it to me. If you don't want,
Yeah,
if you don't want to drive over here.
But
Now-
it's not like I don't pass your place 6 times a week anyway.
Okay, that
Well, let
that
me
works.
ask you this: when you get that letter, do you want to set up the bank account down by you?
I was going to ask that actually, because right now we're using Kit's bank account for LDA. Do we want
Yeah.
our own bank account?
And you can set one up once you have the number.
Well, I look at it this way. Do you have a Chase branch up near you, Kit?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't think it really
For-
matters where it's located. I mean, it's kind of anywhere.
Yeah. If you want me to set it up at the Chase branch, it's in New Paltz.
well, there's a couple of options that we have for that. I have a long-standing relationship with Chase Bank, and in fact, I'm going to see somebody there tomorrow. I could ask
Okay.
them about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the other option that we have, because I don't know what the cost would be. What do we have in the treasury right now?
$219 and change.
Okay, so what we're looking for is we're looking for something that's not going to charge us any interest and is going to give us access to write a check if we need to.
Right. Right.
Um,
You can get a
So-
nonprofit thing.
yeah, so there's that, and then there's also the and at that and what I can do is I can find out what is going to be needed. Are they going to need a copy of the letter? Are they going to need a copy of our bylaws? Like, what do they need a copy of? I
Right,
don't
and
know.
if you have a relationship with the bank, they'll say, okay, we got this started, we'll start and then you bring the rest to us later, you know. Then,
Now, question: because I'm like Frank and I and Alec as well, we're already putting money into the Patreon account.
Yeah.
Once we have this bank account, we could change the deposit bank for Patreon to this new bank account.
Right.
Once that is done, effectively every payment that we do to Patreon can be written off as a charitable contribution, right?
right. Well, it can already because it's in the umbrella under me, under
Right.
LDA.
If you were making those payments in 21, I don't remember when we started. You and I started the same day.
Yeah.
But in theory, those were tax deductible with 21
Right.
tax.
It's under the Lloyd Development Association.
I guess for this year, it probably wasn't much for this past one because
No,
I think
it
you have to. I think it has to be over 600 total for you to even itemize it.
You know,
It has
I
to be
used-
7.5% of your AGI. Where your
Yeah,
justification.
I used to send out the letters, and I just send it out even if it was under 6. I mean, you know, I just because it's nice to have $100 here or $100 there.
Right.
You know, to write it off.
But for this year, for 22, I anticipate it'll be a little bit. I'll be able to download, some kind of tax form to show my donations. But I also need to check and see with Patreon if we have to change our status in there. Maybe they give us some kind of promotion. Let's see. So you said
Whatever. So I don't need the bank account up here. If you want me to open one, or if you want to open it down there, that's fine too. All I need is to be able to get into the website so that I can keep track of the accounts.
Right. So what I would do with, actually, let me just make a note of this so I don't forget.
You'll talk to him, yeah, when you go.
Kit, what town is your branch? Is it actually in Highland?
The Chase branch is in New Paltz, I believe. Yeah, that's the one I've gone to.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, how much are we talking about for the nonprofit? What's the? Do you know what the total is? May I ask?
Well,
Multiply 174 something by 3.
Okay.
yeah, so I think we were talking about, we'll have to kind of
Five,
discuss
520.
putting in, some donation as a group to help
Yeah.
offset that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm ready to make a donation for this year. I made my $100 donation last year to us. And so I'm ready to do another one at least
Right.
for this year.
So the only thing that we need to make to be careful about with this is the intention of such a thing. For example, if Kit puts in $100 or whatever the dollar value is, part of that dollar value can be a straight donation, which is tax deductible. Part of it can also be in anticipation of a return at a later date. Other what. Kind of like I don't really care either way, but we do have to designate that in the record somewhere.
Okay.
Right, and if it does have the expectation of being returned at some point, does that mean? I assume that means it's not tax deductible.
That's my point.
Right.
Because
Well, yeah. I mean, I assume that if you're donating to us as a nonprofit, that you're getting a tax deduction out of it.
Right, but we could also position it as if we are staff of the nonprofit staff can receive salaries, right?
Yeah, but I
So-
think that's unrealistic.
So the funds would be going to fund the nonprofit, but then at a later date, we could get like a little paycheck, as it were, from the nonprofit.
what you're talking about is commonly called an honorarium. And yes, it's a possibility, but I think we're years out from being able to do that. So
Okay, I didn't know like what the steps were for that if that was a kind of a workaround.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, we promise that we'll pay you back.
All right.
essentially, yeah.
Right. Someday.
It's the nonprofit equivalent of an IOU.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we already have the money to do the first payment if we're breaking it up. So we have a whole month. We have a month before we have to come up with the money for the next one, because we have enough to cover the first payment right now.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Right. The one thing I don't want to do is zero out that account. So we would have enough with an overage.
219 minus 174
Yes, we're rolling in the dough here.
is $45.
Yay.
Well, we're going to be getting another 12 from Patreon.
Yeah. So.
By the next meeting.
Now, once this happens, I feel like a lot of things are just kind of snowball, because once we are actually a 501c3 and we show up on like state and federal registries,
Yeah.
I think we talked about at one point, like maybe a year ago, that different like large corporations will look for like any nonprofit and they'll just like send grants, like small donations to anything that shows up in the system, just to show that they're covering
Right.
charitable donations.
Right. Well, I think that's where that accountant can help.
Right. Well, there's that, and then there's also the other thing, which is keeping our name in front of certain people.
Yeah.
These moguls and tycoons like you see on Shark Tank or whatever. Even though we would never be eligible to do Shark Tanks, we're not
Selling.
But these guys are always looking for some kind of a tax abatement or or whatever.
Oh, we'll always be looking.
There are some like Herjavec that's never going to invest with us because he's in big tech. So, you know, but at the end of the day, at this point, I really think, Kit, that, oh, okay. I really think that you and I can finish this off in maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes max.
Okay.
With a form of payment, and what I'll probably also do, just to be on the safe side, is they have the option of requesting, I think they call it a second look or something like that, to have somebody look at it and make sure I didn't forget something somewhere along the line.
Is that a few
I got-
extra
I-
bucks?
No,
No?
it's actually supposed to be included in there.
Cool.
So yeah, when do you want to look to do that?
Let's see. I have an appointment tomorrow at 11. I have an appointment Wednesday at 10. Let me grab my calendar. Hold on.
And Frank, I just want to make sure I have my schedule straight for Saturday. So I'm gonna be done with my haircut close to 10.
Okay.
So I'll shoot to be there, like maybe 10:30. I'll be at one of them.
Right, Mill Country
Oh, right.
Library.
Right, you have
Okay.
a thing tomorrow. Oh no, you have a thing this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Wednesday's getting pretty busy, but I've got time to, tomorrow's Tuesday. I've got time in the afternoon, Frank, or you wanna do it after your work? I don't know what your schedule is.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm around Wednesday night, I'll be back.
And I do have to hop off shortly just because I gotta sit
Yeah.
down for dinner with the wife.
Okay.
Well, we're about to get kicked off anyway in 9 minutes.
Yeah. 9 minutes.
How about tomorrow at 4?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Cool. Think.
And it occurs to me I wish I could have gone over it today, but we'll go over it at our board meeting. I did get some responses to that short survey I sent out, the questionnaire about what you would want to see in the cord cutting classes. So I thought
Oh, okay.
we probably should have gone over that now, but I can show you guys what I got from that on the board meeting.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing that I want to bring up, just as a preliminary, due to some scheduling changes that are coming up in September, I believe, we're going to look to change the day and/or time of our meetings.
Yeah, then Bob could come.
I know that Monday is no longer going to work, particularly for Jacob. So right now I'm thinking Thursdays at 6. So check your.
I will
timing.
I will review and let you guys know what days work best for me. Right now,
Okay.
as it stands, I'm going to be in class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, I guess Thursday would probably be
Yeah.
the best.
Thursday can work sometimes. My daughter has me come babysit at least once a month on a Thursday. But
Yeah, well, we don't have to worry about that until September, so we got the whole summer to figure that out.
Right. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is just to have it in the back of everybody's mind,
okay. Yeah.
so that it doesn't sneak up on us and then we're flat-footed.
Right.
Okay, so in the time left, are there any other small, short topics?
Nope, just a reminder to everyone watching, if you haven't already, please complete our survey on your satisfaction with Optimum. Should take more than 5 minutes of your time. Every response helps us out. And if you are in the Long Island area, particularly Brookhaven, make sure to visit ocgcom.com and sign up for OCG Communications fiber internet service that is finally coming to the Brookhaven area.
Yay.
Alrighty. So,
Alright.
Alec, do you have any other last minute things? And I know you're going to look into the stuff that you and Jacob were talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, nothing else.
Okay.
Oh wait,
So
we're
good.
on YouTube. I gotta do the YouTube thing too.
Right.
Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Oh,
The bad.
All right.
all right.
Second is the bad.
All right.
So.
All right.